So today I'm going to talk about the 5 elements of good website and product design. These 5 elements are essential for you to have a great user experience. So today I'm going to go through them step by step and show you how many of the biggest websites are utilizing them, and many of you didn't really even know this. So I'm going to share it with you today. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. My name is Laith Wallace and welcome to the Laith Wallace podcast. On this channel, I share advice, tools and motivation to help you become a better designer. And also, if you're looking to grow a business as a designer and you're working on something, these are the key 5 elements that you're going to need whenever you're working on the new site. The first thing I want to talk about, the very first thing, is content. Content is king, as they say. And one of the key things you got to understand, content is the images, the videos and the text that all come together to create a great user experience. In some respects, copywriting combined with images, or copywriting on video, copywriting with video, is so essential that it's basically, if not 50 to 60% of your design. Your ability to take words and use them on the screen to communicate a message to the ideal client at the right time, in the right place and on the right platform is essential for you to get your actual product across. So the key thing you got to understand is that you need to regularly update your content so that it's fresh and unique and specific to your targeted audience. You got to make sure that the way you communicate from your, let's talk about a landing page of a website, has a clear, who do you serve and the benefit of what you do and how you serve people statement in your headline, in your subcopy, clear calls to action on the page, clear information that describes the benefits, that describe the services, as well as if you have a blog with relevant content targeting the top of funnel, middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content that you generate on your website. If you'd love for me to go more into top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, I can go more into that. Some amazing websites that are very, very good at content creation is a website like HubSpot. HubSpot is fantastic with their blog content. They have amazing content that targets specific business owners, especially because of the product that they serve. And they make sure that their site is very clear with high quality articles. They use images and videos and they mix it up as well. Another article heavy website is a website like vox.com, or Vice is another good one, BBC, any of these news publication platforms. These are heavy content driven platforms, and you can see when you go on these platforms how they leverage, Buzzfeed is a great example as well, how they leverage images, video, how they combine it together, how they might even in an article get you to download something as well. So leveraging content is essential for your platform, and being strategic about content is used either in your marketplace or how it's not used in your marketplace, and how you can borrow from another industry and implement that in your own as well. Content is essential. Hey you, guess what? You haven't subscribed. Click on that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for new videos, and let's get back into the video. My second point is about usability. This is the ability for the user experience, the use of that product or website to be efficient and effective. You want to make sure that you have clear and consistent navigation. You want to make sure that it helps users find what they're looking for quickly and effectively. Think about the user journey step by step and ask the question, could I do this in less steps? Could I do this more efficient? Could I say this with less words? Can I use less content to explain the action I want someone to take? Are you giving somebody one action per stage, per step, per page, one action at a time, making it very clear, making it concise? Are you using responsive web design? So you're making sure that you're designing for mobile first and then scaling up to much larger platforms as well. But sometimes there may be cases where you might have to design for connected devices like I used to, where you're CTV first or much bigger platforms first. And it depends on what you're creating for. If you're working on like a VOD platform, video on demand platform, you're gonna maybe design for bigger screens first, as well as mobile potentially. Versus if you're on a content heavy website, like I said, like a Vox or something, where you're designing for web first, or maybe you're designing a web application for somebody to access loans. So you're designing web application first. So that's where you've got to be very consistent and think about the platform that majority of users are your users are using as you design as well. Also, when it comes onto usability, you've got to think about your web accessibility standards. You got to make sure you're looking at your w3.org. You're looking at your A11. Let me show you this website. It's called A11 Project. A11yproject.com. Let me get that right. A11yproject.com. And think about the color contrast. Install a plugin on Figma called the contrast plugin. But people with color blindness issues can see the contrast of your call to action buttons and the text on your page effectively as well. So you want to make sure, try to stay away from gradients on text where possible, unless the contrast is very good across both colors in your gradient. But the key thing here is to make sure your website is clear, consistent, simple to use, and allows people to access what they need very quickly and efficiently as well. You want to also make sure you test your website regularly. Test your website as much as you possibly can. Test your website on multiple different devices. This can help improve usability. Testing it on mobile as well as tablet and desktop, iOS mobile, Android mobile. Test it on a Fire tablet as well as an iOS tablet, like an Apple iPad or something like that. Test it across different devices. Also test it in different browsers. So you want to look at Firefox, you want to look at Chrome, you want to look at Safari, the main big three, and then any additional browsers as well that people might use, such as Arc or Brave browser or Opera. Not really many people use Opera, but the point I'm making is try and test your website in different browsers, on different platforms, on different devices as well. Another great website to think about when we talk about usability is actually the government website, gov.uk. Gov.uk is a very, very effective website because millions and millions of people are using it across the whole country. It's a website that has some of the most advanced and most experienced user UX researchers. So they're thinking about the journeys all the time, keeping the consistency. They're AAA rated when it comes onto accessibility. So they're a good standard to look at. You don't always have to design your websites to AAA rating, but AA rating is a good standard to be working towards because of the fact that you want as much people as possible to be able to use your website without any hindrances. So gov.uk is a very good website to look at, especially when you think about the UX and the simplicity of their journeys. They may not be the most effective aesthetically because their purpose is not aesthetics first, but it's functional and it is good enough to get the point across, and they use clean design, service-based design, as well as good user research principles to be able to effectively design their product. The third thing I want to talk about is the aesthetics. This is the colors, the fonts, the typography, the spacing, the roundedness of corners, of elements, whatever it may be that add to the styling of the actual user interface design. All of these aesthetic components add to the consistency of a good user experience. So from consistency of color scheme, aligning with your brand identity, making sure your target audience, you're using the right colors and imagery, etc. Make sure you use high quality graphics and imagery. This is where you could leverage stock photography if necessary. Most designers are using platforms like Shutterstock or Unsplash or Pexels.com. But you might want to level it up even further, creating your own bank of photography. That is the best way. Even though it costs a bit more, it's a very effective way for you to have your own brand identity. And you can even pay for it, but you need to use platforms like Getty or iStock Photo, which is a bit more, but you can get really good images on there as well. So Airbnb is a great example to look at. If you think about the design of the Airbnb website, you're talking about a site that is very effective from the color scheme that they use. Is very clear, it's very consistent, it's very clean. What's happening on their site, you can see how the design of their logo and text is also influencing the iconography and the images on screen. You can see how the roundedness of their corners is also felt on their buttons, is also felt in their navigation bar and their account elements. You can see how that influences all of what they're doing. And this is why that's a great example to show you. Another great example is something like Stripe. When you go on the Stripe website, you have big, bold, what we call color blocking, where they're leveraging color and negative spaces to create space on the page and using big color blocking to help emphasize and differentiate elements on their page as well. And this is a great way how you can change colors on your page where necessary, but you make sure that it's of a similar color palette, or you make sure that your contrast of the text you're using is able to stand out against the background as well. The fourth point I want to talk about is visibility. This is how you can optimize your website for search. This is where you have very good HTML markup. You're using H1s, H2s, H3s, you have paragraph copy, you have very clear navigation, you have consistent elements across your page. You're also leveraging social media to promote your web page. And you're also finding ways to collect email addresses on your website. You're making sure that you have funnels built on your website as well, where you're funneling people in to download a free document, book a call or a strategy session. Your goal is not just to have people on your website lingering there. Your goal is for them to get in touch with you, book a call, download a document, buy this product or service. So as a result of the action that you want someone to take in the end, you want to think about how you're funneling them in. And this is why you've got to raise the visibility of your website, optimizing it for search and making sure you're using things like email marketing to drive traffic to your site, leveraging tools like paid ads and Google ads so that you can be more effective and found much easier. And this is why, in my opinion, it's essential for designers to learn marketing. Even if you don't want to go super deep into marketing, just learn the basics of it. How does search work? How does social media work? How does email marketing work? How to create funnels, how to create landing pages that are effective, how to use paid advertising. All of these things increase the visibility of a website, and a designer that knows how to use search, social, email to be able to build an audience for a client, for a company, is going to make you a much more effective and efficient designer as well. Some really good sites that are very good at raising their visibility is neilpatel.com. He's a marketing genius. He's able to leverage social, email, paid marketing, search, everything, to be honest, and show you through what he does, how effective it is to raise the visibility of your website using neilpatel.com and his blog. Another company that is really good at this is a company called Ahrefs, Ahrefs.com. They're a company that specializes in search engine optimization, but when you go on their blog, similar to SEMrush, that also do the same thing, they're so effective at the type of content they create, from listicles to the different types of content that they create to really help you be able to find what you're looking for. If you're in the search engine optimization space and you want to find a tool, Ahrefs is a fantastic website that you can look at to understand how are they raising their visibility. And to be honest, what you can do is just copy the big boys or work with marketing teams. If you're part of bigger teams, work with marketing teams, learn from the marketers in your team, and that will help you level up as a designer as well. The fifth point and my final point is interaction. This is about your ability to use clear, concise calls to action, leverage animation to up the quality and the feel of the website using music and have a better experience. You might use interaction through things like quizzes and polls and surveys to engage with users. You might use interaction through leveraging a chatbot on a page and having customers interact with a bot to be able to answer their very common service questions that they may have. Think about your personalization techniques that you can use and how interaction can give that website, that product that you're working on, those nuances to give it that uniqueness as well. If you want to think about interaction, every time Apple, if you go to apple.com and they launch in a new product, the actual landing page for that product that they're launching is always beautiful, uses very good interaction, uses animated elements, especially if you see their new iPhone drops. They're some of the most amazingly designed pages in the marketplace for product design, or the product design of the website, web pages where they're selling a product, a physical product is what I mean. Buzzfeed.com, very good with their quizzes and polls. And if you look at a platform like Shopify leverage animation on their website in their header. They also have chatbots on their platform. So this is where you can gather and gain some real good insights and examples that can help you become a much more effective designer. So these are my 5 elements to good website design: content, usability, aesthetics, visibility, and interaction. And with these 5 elements, you can become an effective designer and also help your clients make more income and serve more people in the best way with greater and more efficient user experience. And once again, I want to thank you for watching today. Remember, you can improve your life through creative advice. Thank you for watching this episode of the Laith Wallace podcast. Look after yourself and look after your family, and take care. Bye-bye.